Welcome to Dreamy Facts. As the day gently recedes, we invite you to settle into a space of calm contemplation. Tonight, we embark on a journey through the often misunderstood world of medieval castles, exploring approximately 100 fascinating facts that reveal not only their architectural grandeur, but also the surprising comforts, quiet routines, and serene moments that defined life within their formidable walls. There is no pressure to remember or retain these details. Instead, let them unfold naturally, inviting your mind to settle into a state of peaceful curiosity. This exploration is designed to be a soothing experience, a gentle current of historical knowledge flowing without demanding effort or retention. We will observe the intricate design choices, the subtle adaptations for daily living, and the quiet wisdom embedded in these ancient structures. Each fact is a small window into the vast and interconnected tapestry of medieval life, presented in a calm and meditative tone, allowing your thoughts to drift and find stillness. Allow the gentle rhythm of these discoveries to guide you towards a state of relaxation, inviting a sense of wonder and peace as you prepare for rest. We will peel back the layers of popular myth to uncover the unexpected tranquility and ingenious solutions that made these stone fortresses surprisingly livable and at times deeply comforting. If you're finding peace in this journey, a like and subscribe helps us continue creating these restful explorations, and we're always curious. Share in the comments what city and time zone you're watching from. There's something special about knowing this experience is reaching people all over the world as they prepare for rest. The inner sanctum, unexpected comforts within stone walls. Tonight, we begin our journey by stepping inside the formidable exteriors of medieval castles, exploring the often overlooked aspects of warmth, community, and personal space that offered surprising comfort to their inhabitants. Beyond the imagery of cold stone and constant siege, these structures were vibrant homes, designed with ingenuity to foster a sense of well-being. Let us drift through the inner chambers and shared spaces, discovering the gentle rhythms and thoughtful details that made castle life unexpectedly serene. The very heart of castle life, the Great Hall, was far more than just a place for feasting. It was a communal living space, a source of warmth and light that drew people together. Historians generally agree that the central hearth in the Great Hall, often open to the roof or equipped with a large chimney, served as the primary heating source, radiating warmth that permeated the entire space. This roaring fire was not just practical. Its flickering light and crackling sounds created a deeply comforting ambience, especially during long cold evenings. Families, servants, and guests would gather around, sharing stories, music, and the simple act of being together. Evidence suggests that the smoke, while sometimes an issue, was often mitigated by clever architectural features like louvers in the roof or large windows that could be opened. The shared warmth and light from the hearth encouraged a sense of community and security, transforming a vast stone room into a surprisingly cozy gathering place. The massive timbers of the roof and the thick stone walls, though seemingly imposing, actually helped to retain the heat generated by the fires, creating a stable internal temperature that felt like a refuge from the elements. Moving beyond the communal warmth, the private chambers of the Lord and Lady offered a sanctuary of personal comfort and privacy within the castle's bustling life. These solar or camera rooms were often located on upper floors, away from the noise and activity of the great hall, providing a quiet retreat. Historical records document that these chambers were frequently lined with tapestries, not merely for decoration, but as a practical form of insulation against the cold stone walls. These woven hangings added layers of fabric that trapped air, significantly improving the room's warmth and acoustics, making conversations more intimate and hushed. Within these private spaces, one would find comfortable beds, often draped with rich fabrics and furs, offering a soft haven for rest. Small windows provided light and views, sometimes with cushioned window seats that invited quiet contemplation or reading. The presence of a personal fireplace in these chambers further enhanced their coziness, allowing for individual control over warmth and fostering a sense of secluded tranquility. Castle gardens and inner courtyards provided essential green spaces, acting as oases of tranquility amidst the stone and timber. These areas were not solely for utility, though they often included herb gardens for medicinal and culinary purposes. They were also designed for beauty and peaceful contemplation. Evidence suggests that many castles featured small enclosed gardens known as herbers, where fragrant flowers, fruit trees, and carefully tended beds offered a sensory escape. The gentle rustling of leaves, the scent of blooming roses or lavender, and the quiet hum of insects would have created a remarkably serene atmosphere. A central fountain or well in a courtyard could add the soothing sound of flowing water, enhancing the peaceful ambience. These enclosed spaces offered a safe, sheltered environment for quiet walks, private conversations, or simply sitting in the fresh air, providing a vital connection to nature within the fortified walls. The daily life within a medieval castle, far from being a constant clamour, often unfolded to a surprisingly soothing soundtrack of its own. Beyond the occasional clang of armour or the distant sounds of training, the predominant auditory landscape would have been one of gentle activity. One notices the quiet murmur of conversations, the soft rustle of servants going about their tasks, and the rhythmic beat of a loom or a spinning wheel. In the evenings, especially in the great hall, the sounds of distant music, a lute, a harp, or gentle singing would have filled the air, creating a contemplative atmosphere. The crackling and popping of the large fireplaces, combined with the soft glow they cast, would have been a constant comforting presence. Even the sounds from outside the castle, muted by thick walls, like the gentle lowing of cattle or the chirping of crickets, could contribute to a sense of peaceful enclosure, fostering a feeling of security and calm within the robust defences. Beyond the roaring hearths, medieval castles employed various ingenious methods to ensure warmth and illumination, transforming potentially cold, dark spaces into surprisingly habitable ones. Scholars debate the exact efficiency of these systems, but historical records indicate that fireplaces, often quite large and numerous, were strategically placed throughout the castle, especially in private chambers and the great hall. Their design, which evolved over centuries, became increasingly effective at drawing smoke out and radiating heat into the room. For additional localized warmth, braziers filled with glowing charcoal were used, particularly in areas like workshops or guard posts, providing a portable source of heat. Illumination, crucial for daily tasks and evening relaxation, came primarily from candles and rushlights, casting a soft, flickering glow that created intimate and inviting atmospheres. While not as bright as modern lighting, The collective effect of numerous candles and the warm light from fires would have created a warm, golden ambience, softening the harshness of stone and inviting rest. The castle kitchen, a bustling hub of activity, was simultaneously a source of deeply comforting sensory experiences. The aromas emanating from this space would have permeated parts of the castle, creating an inviting and homely atmosphere. Historians generally agree that the smell of freshly baked bread, a staple of the medieval diet, was a constant and reassuring presence. The savoury scent of simmering stews, often cooked slowly over open fires for hours, would have filled the air, promising sustenance and warmth. The brewing of ale, another common activity, would add earthy and malty notes to the olfactory tapestry. These pervasive, comforting smells were not merely incidental. They were intrinsic to the daily rhythm of castle life, signalling nourishment, community, and the ongoing domestic activities that grounded the castle in its role as a home. The kitchen, with its warmth and inviting scents, was a silent testament to the castle's capacity for nurturing its inhabitants. Access to water and rudimentary bathing rituals also contributed to a sense of well-being, challenging the common misconception of universal medieval squalor. While not always luxurious, medieval castles often had sophisticated water management systems, including wells within the walls or cisterns collecting rainwater, ensuring a relatively clean and reliable supply. Evidence suggests that bathing, though perhaps not daily for everyone, was a known practice. Lord and ladies' chambers might feature large wooden tubs filled with heated water, offering a refreshing respite. Even simpler forms of washing, such as basin and ewer for hands and face, were common. The availability of clean water for cooking, drinking, and personal hygiene, even if basic, provided a foundational level of comfort and contributed to the overall health and sense of order within the castle. The sound of water being drawn from a well or flowing into a basin could also be a quiet, soothing background element to daily life. From the high vantage points of castle walls and towers, particularly during times of peace, the views offered a panoramic sense of calm and connection to the surrounding landscape. Imagine standing on a battlement, gazing out over rolling hills, winding rivers, and distant forests, all bathed in the soft light of dawn or dusk. These expansive vistas provided a profound sense of perspective and tranquility, allowing inhabitants to observe the natural world in all its quiet grandeur. Farmers tilling fields, shepherds guiding their flocks, and the slow progression of seasons would unfold below, a testament to the unchanging rhythms of life beyond the castle's immediate confines. These moments of observation offered a peaceful escape, a chance to breathe in the fresh air and feel connected to the wider world, reminding one of the enduring beauty of the land the castle protected. Finally, the castle chapel offered a dedicated space for quiet solace and spiritual reflection, a sanctuary within a sanctuary. Every substantial castle would have had a chapel, ranging from a small, intimate room to a grand, multi-storied structure. These spaces were designed for prayer, meditation, and quiet contemplation, providing a respite from the secular demands of daily life. The subdued light filtering through stained glass windows, the hushed atmosphere, and the presence of religious artifacts created an environment conducive to inner peace. Services held there would have offered a rhythmic and calming ritual, with chanting and hymns providing a deeply meditative experience for many. Even outside of formal services, the chapel remained a place where one could seek quietude, find comfort in spiritual reflection, and allow the mind to settle amidst the enduring strength of the castle walls. As we gently close this first chapter, we reflect on the surprising array of comforts and quiet spaces woven into the very fabric of medieval castles. From the communal warmth of the great hall to the personal sanctuaries of private chambers and the tranquil beauty of gardens, these structures were designed not just for defence but for living. They offered their inhabitants a profound sense of security, and within that security, unexpected moments of peace and well-being, fostering a gentle rhythm of existence that belies their stern exterior. As we gently drift further into the embrace of these majestic stone structures, leaving behind the immediate comforts of the great hall and the hushed intimacy of private chambers, we invite you now to explore the broader, subtler rhythms that wove a tapestry of tranquility throughout medieval castle life. The previous chapter offered us a glimpse into the physical spaces designed for solace. Now, we shall observe the quiet ingenuity and shared purpose that imbued these formidable dwellings with an enduring sense of peace and unexpected well-being. We peel back another layer, revealing how the very pulse of daily existence within these walls was often a calming, purposeful melody, far removed from the clamour one might instinctively imagine. Imagine, if you will, the gentle hum that arose from the steady hands of the castle's artisans and craftspeople. Within the protective embrace of the outer bailey, or nestled in quiet workshops carved into the castle's lower levels, a quiet industry unfolded day after day. Here, the weaver's shuttle moved with a rhythmic thwack-thwack, creating lengths of woolen cloth that would become warm garments or insulating tapestries, each thread a testament to patient skill. The scribe in a quiet chamber bathed in the soft, natural light filtering through a narrow window, meticulously copied manuscripts, the faint scratch of quill on parchment, a soothing sound of preservation and learning. We might hear the distant, steady tap-tap-tap of a carpenter shaping wood for furniture or repairs, or the gentle clink of a smith working at a smaller forge, fashioning tools or decorative ironwork, each strike a deliberate contribution to the castle's self-sufficiency. This purposeful creation, this quiet dedication to craft, fostered a profound sense of order and contribution, a collective endeavour that provided a quiet dignity to all who participated. It was a world where skill was valued, and the fruits of one's labour were immediately visible, contributing directly to the comfort and continuity of the community, fostering a quiet satisfaction that is, in itself, a form of deep relaxation. The castle kitchen, a vibrant heart we briefly touched upon, offered far more than just nourishing meals. It was a perpetual source of comforting sensory experiences and a testament to cooperative effort. Beyond the grand feasts, the daily preparation of sustenance created a continuous, gentle symphony of domesticity. The rhythmic chop-chop of vegetables, the soft thud of dough being kneaded for the day's fresh bread, the steady bubble of simmering stews and broths. These were the quiet sounds of constant provision. The air, perpetually warm from the hearths and ovens, carried an ever-changing olfactory tapestry. The yeasty sweetness of rising bread, the savoury aroma of roasting meats, the subtle spice of herbs, and the earthy scent of root vegetables. These smells permeated the nearby corridors, whispering promises of warmth and sustenance, creating a subconscious reassurance that all was well, that hunger would be sated and comfort sustained. The kitchen, with its bustling yet ordered activity, was a warm, beating pulse within the castle, a constant reminder of the nourishing care at the heart of daily life, inviting a deep sense of security and contentment. As dusk began to settle and the day's labours wound down, another soothing element often emerged to grace the castle's inhabitants, the gentle art of music and storytelling. Far from being reserved solely for grand banquets, music often permeated the daily fabric of life, offering moments of quiet solace and communal joy. Perhaps a minstrel would play a lute or harp in the great hall, its soft, resonant notes drifting through the evening air, providing a peaceful backdrop to quiet conversations or solitary contemplation. The gentle strumming of strings, the clear, pure notes of a recorder, or the soft melody of a folk song could lull the mind into a state of serene receptivity. Similarly, the ancient tradition of storytelling, often shared around the flickering light of a central hearth, provided not just entertainment, but a profound sense of connection and continuity. Tales of valour, myths, legends, and historical narratives were passed down, weaving a rich tapestry of shared culture and imagination. These quiet moments of listening, of being transported by narrative and melody, offered a restorative escape from the practicalities of the day, fostering a sense of belonging and a gentle awakening of the inner world, a deeply relaxing communion of hearts and minds. Stepping beyond the immediate sounds and smells, we invite you to once more consider the castle gardens, not merely as places of beauty, but as vital, living extensions of the castle's self-sufficient tranquility. While the previous chapter touched upon their aesthetic appeal, we now delve deeper into their practical and meditative significance. These enclosed spaces, often walled and protected within the castle grounds, were meticulously cultivated not only for fragrant flowers that delighted the eye and nose, but also for a wealth of medicinal herbs and culinary plants. Imagine the quiet satisfaction of tending to these plots, the gentle rustle of leaves in a soft breeze, the earthy scent of disturbed soil, the delicate fragrance of blooming roses mingling with the pungent aroma of mint or thyme. The act of gardening itself, with its rhythmic cycles of planting, weeding, and harvesting, offered a profound connection to the natural world and a soothing counterpoint to the stone architecture. It was a quiet, contemplative labour that yielded tangible rewards, contributing directly to the well-being of the castle community through fresh produce and healing remedies. These gardens were oases of quiet purpose, miniature ecosystems of peace and provision, where one could find solace in the simple, enduring beauty of growth and renewal. Further extending this connection to the land, many castles were supported by nearby orchards and cultivated fields, ensuring a steady supply of fruits, grains, and vegetables. Though often beyond the immediate walls, the management and harvest of these resources were integral to the castle's enduring sense of security and peace. The knowledge that the castle could largely sustain itself, that the provisions for the coming seasons were being carefully cultivated and stored, offered a deep underlying sense of calm. The changing seasons dictated the rhythms of life, from the planting in spring to the harvest in autumn, connecting the castle's inhabitants to the ancient comforting cycles of nature. This self-sufficiency, born of ingenuity and hard work, reduced external dependencies and fostered a profound sense of stability, allowing for a more relaxed and secure existence within the castle's protective embrace. The ingenious management of water within medieval castles also contributed significantly to a sense of comfort and well-being, often in ways we might overlook today. Beyond the simple presence of a well, many castles featured sophisticated systems of cisterns, conduits, and even small fountains within courtyards, designed to capture and store precious rainwater. Imagine the soothing sound of flowing water, perhaps from a small fountain bubbling gently in an inner courtyard, its soft murmur a constant calming presence amidst the stone. This careful husbanding of water not only ensured a vital resource for drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene, but also created a subtle sensory ambience of freshness and vitality. The foresight and engineering required to manage this essential element speaks to a deep understanding of livability, transforming a mere defensive structure into a vibrant, self-sustaining home, where the gentle presence of water was a constant, reassuring element, fostering a sense of cleanliness and quiet abundance. Even the practical aspects of personal care and daily attire contributed to a subtle yet pervasive sense of comfort. Medieval clothing, often crafted from natural fibers such as wool and linen, was designed for warmth, durability, and practicality. Imagine the feel of soft, well-worn wool against the skin during cooler months, providing a comforting warmth, or the breathable lightness of linen in summer. These garments, though perhaps simple by modern standards, offered a profound sense of tactile comfort and protection from the elements. The rituals of dressing, of preparing oneself for the day or evening, were deliberate and unhurried, a quiet routine that grounded the individual within the castle's steady pulse. This mindful attention to personal comfort, however basic, underscored the castle's role as a nurturing environment where even the simplest aspects of daily life were considered in the pursuit of well-being. Ultimately, the very presence of the castle walls, so often perceived solely as symbols of defence and siege, paradoxically served as the ultimate guarantor of a profound and enduring tranquility within. These formidable barriers, while indeed designed to repel external threats, simultaneously created an inner sanctum of unparalleled security. Within their robust embrace, the anxieties of the outside world receded, allowing for the gentle rhythms of daily life to unfold in relative peace. The knowledge that one was protected, that the community was safe, fostered a deep sense of relaxation and allowed for the cultivation of crafts, music, learning, and the simple joys of communal living. This pervasive sense of security was the bedrock upon which all other comforts were built, transforming a potentially harsh environment into a haven where quiet ingenuity and collective purpose blossomed. Thus, we continue to discover that medieval castles were not merely cold, imposing fortresses, but rather complex living entities, meticulously designed and inhabited by people who understood the art of creating comfort, fostering community, and finding peace amidst the challenges of their age. They were places where the quiet hum of daily life, the rhythmic work of skilled hands, the soothing sounds of music and stories, and the profound sense of security all converged to create an environment surprisingly conducive to relaxation and well-being. As we reflect on these gentle truths, we invite you to carry this newfound understanding with you, allowing the quiet strength and unexpected comforts of the medieval castle to continue to inspire a sense of calm and wonder. As the formidable walls of the medieval castle continue to stand sentinel, offering their silent promise of security, we invite you to step further within this architectural embrace, allowing the subtle anxieties of the modern world to recede even more completely. We have observed how the castle's very structure and daily rhythms fostered a profound sense of peace and self-sufficiency, creating a sanctuary where life unfolded with a purposeful grace. Now let us delve into the more intimate layers of castle life, discovering how even the most personal aspects were woven into a tapestry of unexpected comfort and well-being, challenging many of the preconceived notions that often cloud our contemporary understanding. We begin by gently dispelling a persistent myth, one that often paints medieval life with a broad brush of discomfort: the notion of pervasive uncleanliness. While it is true that modern plumbing and sanitation were centuries away, the inhabitants of a medieval castle were far from oblivious to personal hygiene. Indeed, their practices, though different from our own, were often remarkably thoughtful and designed to promote a sense of freshness and ease. Imagine, if you will, the private chambers or even designated bathing rooms where large wooden tubs lined with linen awaited. Here, warm water, perhaps infused with fragrant herbs like lavender, rosemary or chamomile, would be carefully poured, offering a moment of quiet indulgence. This was not a daily ritual for all, certainly, but a recurring one, a cherished opportunity for cleansing and relaxation, a gentle submersion that soothed both body and mind after days of activity. The very act of preparing such a bath, with its attendant warmth and aromatic steam, would have been a comforting ritual in itself, a quiet moment of self-care amidst the bustling castle life. Beyond the bath, the daily routine of personal care involved meticulous attention to clean garments. Linen undergarments, worn closest to the skin, were regularly washed, ensuring a fresh foundation beneath the heavier outer layers of wool. The soft rustle of clean linen against the skin, a simple pleasure often overlooked, contributed significantly to daily comfort. Perfumed waters made from distilled flower petals were employed to refresh and uplift, offering a delicate olfactory pleasure. One might also encounter a lady's maid or a valet assisting with hairbrushing, a rhythmic, calming activity that fostered a sense of order and personal attention. Even the simple act of washing hands and face, often with perfumed soap made from natural lye and animal fats, would have been a refreshing pause throughout the day, a small but significant gesture towards personal well-being. These practices, far from being crude, speak to a quiet dignity and a surprising emphasis on personal comfort that permeated the castle's inner sanctum, ensuring that the body too could find its measure of peace. As the body found its ease, so too did the mind seek its own quiet nourishment within the castle walls. We invite you now to wander with us to the quieter corners, perhaps a solar or a dedicated study, where the gentle pursuit of knowledge and the creation of beauty unfolded. Here, the soft light filtering through a leaded glass window might illuminate a scribe meticulously working on an illuminated manuscript, his quill scratching rhythmically across vellum. The air might be still save for the faint scent of beeswax and parchment, creating an atmosphere of profound concentration and artistic devotion. Books, though precious and few, were revered, often housed in chests or on simple shelves, their pages holding the wisdom of ages or the intricate beauty of devotional art. To hold such a book, to turn its heavy pages, would have been a contemplative act, a quiet communion with thoughts and stories from distant lands or times. The castle was not merely a stronghold, but also a crucible for intellectual and artistic endeavours. We might observe a lady of the household engaged in intricate embroidery, her needle weaving threads into exquisite patterns, a meditative act of creation that brought both beauty and purpose to her days. Or perhaps a bard, composing a new melody on a lute, the soft plucking of strings echoing gently within the stone chambers, a soothing overture to an evening's entertainment. These were not activities born of idleness, but rather of a deep appreciation for craft, learning, and the enriching power of art. They provided a quiet counterpoint to the more active aspects of castle life, offering moments of mental tranquility and a sense of enduring cultural legacy. The very presence of such endeavours within the castle speaks to a holistic understanding of well-being, where the mind and spirit were nurtured just as diligently as the body. Beyond the structured pursuits, the castle also offered avenues for gentle leisure and recreation, ensuring that the spirit could find moments of unburdened joy and camaraderie. Imagine the great hall on an evening not dedicated to feasting, but to a quieter gathering. Here, by the flickering light of the hearth, families and retainers might engage in board games, their quiet concentration punctuated by soft murmurs and the occasional victorious chuckle. Games like chess or tables, a precursor to backgammon, required strategic thought, offering a delightful mental diversion without the demands of physical exertion. Storytelling, too, remained a cherished form of entertainment, the cadences of a well-spun tale weaving a spell of enchantment, transporting listeners to distant lands or heroic pasts, fostering a shared sense of wonder and connection. For those who sought a connection with the natural world without venturing beyond the protective walls, the inner courtyards and gardens provided a serene setting for gentle strolls. The soft crunch of gravel underfoot, the rustling of leaves in a light breeze, the delicate scent of blooming flowers. These sensory details would have contributed to a profound sense of peaceful immersion. One might sit on a stone bench, contemplating the intricate patterns of a knot garden, or simply watching the play of light and shadow across the ancient stones. Even the presence of gentle pets, a loyal hound dozing by the fire, a purring cat curled on a window seat, added a layer of domestic warmth and quiet companionship, their unconditional presence a soothing balm to the soul. These were the moments when the castle truly revealed itself as a home, a place where relaxation was not merely an absence of stress, but an active cultivation of simple, enduring pleasures. Returning to the theme of personal sanctuary, let us revisit the castle bedchamber, a space that truly embodied the zenith of private comfort within its formidable walls. Far from the sparse, cold images often conjured, these rooms were designed for profound rest and rejuvenation. The bed itself, often a grand affair with a high frame, would be dressed with layers of soft linen sheets, woolen blankets, and perhaps even a feather mattress, offering a surprising depth of warmth and cushioning. Heavy curtains drawn around the bed created a private enclosure within the room, trapping warmth and offering a sense of intimate security, a cocoon against the world. Here the individual could truly retreat, allowing the body to fully relax and the mind to drift into restorative slumber. The presence of a private fireplace in a solar or bedchamber was not merely for warmth, but for the ambience it created. The soft crackle of burning logs, the dancing glow of the flames casting warm shadows, the gentle scent of wood smoke. These elements combined to create an atmosphere of profound tranquility, an invitation to quiet contemplation before sleep, or a peaceful awakening to a new day. The sounds of the castle, once a symphony of activity, would soften to a quiet murmur at night. The distant hoot of an owl, the gentle shifting of guards, the rhythmic drip of water from a well, all contributing to a sense of secure enclosure and peaceful slumber. The bedchamber, then, was not just a place to sleep, but a carefully crafted haven for deep rest, a testament to the castle's commitment to the well-being of its inhabitants. Indeed, the entire rhythm of castle life, from the first light of dawn to the hush of night, was structured in a way that fostered a deep sense of order and predictability, elements that inherently contribute to a peaceful mind. The ringing of bells for prayers, for meals, for specific duties created a steady, reassuring pulse that guided the day. This predictable framework, far from being rigid, offered a comforting certainty, a clear understanding of one's place and purpose within the communal tapestry. In a world often fraught with uncertainty beyond the castle walls, this inner order provided a profound psychological comfort, allowing anxieties to recede as one moved through the familiar patterns of daily life. Even the unseen elements, such as the strategic design for air and light, played a crucial role in creating a healthy and calming environment. Medieval builders, with their ingenious practical knowledge, understood the importance of ventilation. Loopholes, narrow windows, and even cleverly designed chimneys not only served defensive purposes, but also ensured a circulation of fresh air, preventing stuffiness and maintaining a sense of vitality within the stone structures. Similarly, the placement of windows, though often smaller than modern panes, was carefully considered to maximize natural light in key areas like the Great Hall, chapels, and private chambers. The soft, shifting patterns of sunlight throughout the day, illuminating tapestries and warming stone, brought a gentle vibrancy to the interiors, connecting inhabitants to the natural world outside without compromising their security. This thoughtful integration of light and air speaks to a subtle yet significant understanding of human comfort and well-being, enhancing the overall sense of peace within the castle. Finally, we consider the gentle embrace of hospitality, a cornerstone of castle life that extended its inherent comforts to all who entered its gates. A medieval castle was not merely a private residence, but a hub of community and connection, a place where travellers, envoys, and even the less fortunate might find refuge and warmth. The welcoming of guests was a carefully orchestrated affair, designed to impress and comfort. Imagine the warmth of a fire in the great hall, the ready offer of food and drink, the provision of a comfortable bed for the night. This tradition of hospitality, rooted in both social custom and Christian charity, transformed the formidable fortress into a symbol of welcome and generosity. For the guest, it offered a profound sense of security and belonging in a world where travel could be perilous. For the hosts, it reinforced their status and their commitment to community, creating a positive flow of energy and goodwill that permeated the castle's atmosphere. This extension of comfort to others further solidified the castle's role as a haven, a place where peace was not just experienced internally, but shared freely. Thus, as we continue our gentle exploration, we find that the medieval castle, in its multifaceted design and daily routines, was a masterwork of integrated comfort and well-being. From the intimate rituals of personal care to the quiet pursuits of knowledge and the simple joys of leisure, every aspect was meticulously woven into a fabric of security, warmth, and unexpected serenity. It was a place where the clamour of the outside world could truly be left behind, allowing its inhabitants, and now us, to bask in a profound sense of peace and quiet wonder. A true testament to the enduring human desire for a comforting sanctuary. As we gently drift further into the serene embrace of medieval castles, allowing the gentle current of historical knowledge to carry us, we find ourselves ready to explore how the very essence of their formidable design and their profound connection to the surrounding world contributed not to a sense of austerity, but to an even deeper, more pervasive tranquility. Having explored the intimate comforts and the quiet rhythms within, we now invite you to broaden your gaze, to perceive how the castle's relationship with its environment, its strategic purpose, and its sustained provision created an overarching sense of peace, a comforting cocoon woven from stone, nature, and thoughtful foresight. Imagine, if you will, standing at a high vantage point, perhaps upon a battlement's walk or within a solar window, looking out upon the verdant tapestry of the medieval landscape. Castles were not merely dropped onto the land. They were often meticulously chosen for their strategic positioning, yes, but also for their harmonious integration with nature, their elevated locations frequently affording breathtaking panoramic vistas. From these lofty perches one could gaze upon rolling hills, meandering rivers, dense forests, and the rhythmic patterns of cultivated fields, all bathed in the soft, ever-changing light of the sun or the silver glow of the moon. The castle's inhabitants were thus constantly cradled within a grand natural tableau, a living painting that shifted with the seasons, offering an inexhaustible source of visual calm and contemplative wonder. The soft rustling of leaves in the distant woods, the gentle murmur of a river flowing far below, the melodic chorus of bird song carried on the breeze. These were the ambient sounds that filled the air, a natural symphony that quieted the mind and soothed the spirit, connecting the stone fortress to the vibrant living world around it. This constant, gentle communion with nature, unobscured by modern clamour, fostered a profound sense of rootedness and peace, reminding one of the enduring cycles of life and the quiet majesty of the earth. The clean, crisp air carrying the subtle scents of pine, damp earth, or blooming wildflowers further enhanced this sensory immersion, creating an atmosphere of natural purity that was inherently revitalizing and calming. It is a curious paradox, perhaps, that the very features designed for defense, the thick walls, the towering keeps, the watchful sentinels, were, for those within, the ultimate guarantors of profound peace. The formidable exterior, often perceived as a symbol of conflict, was in fact a meticulously crafted shell that allowed for an extraordinary depth of inner tranquility. Knowing that such an impressive bulwark stood between oneself and the uncertainties of the outside world fostered a deep, abiding sense of security. The constant vigilance, the strategic placement of watchtowers, and the unyielding strength of stone meant that within the castle's embrace, daily life could proceed without the gnawing anxieties of external threat. One could engage in quiet contemplation in the chapel, enjoy a leisurely meal in the great hall, or tend to the peaceful duties of the garden, all with the comforting knowledge that a robust defence mechanism was silently at work, standing guard. This absence of immediate fear, this profound sense of being protected and secure, created a mental spaciousness, an unburdened state of mind that is truly conducive to relaxation. The silent sentinels keeping their solitary watch were not merely guardians of the physical structure, but also unseen custodians of the castle's inner serenity, allowing the gentle rhythms of domestic life to unfold undisturbed, nurturing a collective calm that permeated every stone and beam. Beyond the immediate defence, the castle's meticulous organisation for long-term provision was another cornerstone of its inherent tranquillity. The very sight of well-stocked storerooms, the quiet order of the granary, the cool, earthy scent of the wine cellar. These were not merely practical necessities, but powerful symbols of abundance and foresight that offered deep psychological comfort. The medieval castle was a self-sustaining microcosm designed to endure, and this resilience was built upon careful planning for sustenance. These seasonal cycles of harvest, the meticulous processes of preserving food through salting, smoking, drying, and pickling, all contributed to a deep-seated assurance that the community within would be provided for, come what may. Imagine the quiet satisfaction of seeing barrels of salted fish, shelves laden with dried herbs, sacks of grain, and cheeses ripening in their cool, dark spaces. This visible bounty, the tangible evidence of careful stewardship, instilled a profound sense of security, freeing the mind from the anxieties of scarcity. The rhythmic work of gathering, processing, and storing, often a communal effort, reinforced bonds and created a shared sense of purpose, contributing to an underlying hum of well-being. This assured provision was a silent lullaby, a constant reassurance that nourished not only the body, but also the soul, allowing for a relaxed focus on daily life, rather than a preoccupation with survival. Expanding upon the gentle hum of activity we have observed, we invite you now to consider the continuous quiet symphony of maintenance and upkeep that permeated the castle's existence. Beyond the grander tasks, there was a steady, almost imperceptible rhythm of daily care that ensured the castle remained a comfortable and functional home. Imagine the soft swish of brooms sweeping the floors, the quiet clatter of dishes being washed, the gentle sound of wood being chopped for the hearths, or the methodical movements of a cleaner polishing a surface. These were the unsung yet vital tasks performed by a dedicated household staff, whose continuous efforts created an environment of order and cleanliness. Small repairs were constantly undertaken, a loose stone remortared, a hinge oiled, a tapestry rehung, ensuring that the castle remained in optimal condition. This ongoing, purposeful activity, often performed with quiet diligence and efficiency, created a predictable and well-ordered environment. There was a comforting sense of being cared for, of living within a structure that was actively maintained and cherished. This gentle hum of diligent care, a constant undercurrent of thoughtful attention, contributed to a stable and harmonious living space, where the smooth functioning of daily life fostered a deep sense of ease and relaxation. One could rest assured that the castle in its entirety was being looked after, allowing its inhabitants to simply be within its comforting walls. Finally, let us reflect upon the profound psychological comfort offered by the castle as a beacon of continuity and rootedness. For many, a medieval castle was not just a residence, it was a multi-generational home, a living testament to family history and an enduring symbol of stability. Imagine the quiet pride and comfort derived from living in a place that had housed one's ancestors, where generations had walked the same halls, gazed from the same windows, and found solace within the same stone walls. This deep connection to the past, this sense of being part of an unbroken lineage, provided a powerful psychological anchor in a world often characterized by change and uncertainty. The castle stood as a physical manifestation of continuity, a steadfast presence that transcended individual lives. Its very endurance, its ability to weather centuries, offered a profound sense of security and belonging. This feeling of rootedness, of being part of something larger and lasting, fostered a deep inner peace, a quiet confidence that transcended the immediate concerns of daily life. The castle became more than just a home. It was a legacy, a sanctuary of memory, and a promise of stability for future generations, nurturing a sense of profound belonging and tranquil repose for all who resided within its ancient, comforting embrace. As we gently conclude this chapter, we hope you have discovered how the medieval castle, far from being a mere fortress, was intricately woven into its natural environment, meticulously designed for security that fostered inner peace, organized for an abundance that calmed anxieties, maintained with a gentle diligence, and stood as a powerful symbol of continuity and belonging. These broader aspects, often overlooked, collectively contributed to making these magnificent structures true havens of peace, comfort, and a deep, often unexpected relaxation. We invite you to carry this expanded understanding with you, allowing the serene image of the castle, in all its thoughtful complexity, to continue to be a source of quiet wonder and tranquil reflection. As we gently transition from the expansive views and profound security offered by the castle's integration with its environment, we now invite you to draw your awareness inward to the subtle yet deeply resonant sensory tapestry that truly defined daily life within these magnificent stone structures. If Chapter 4 revealed the castle as a steadfast guardian, a symbol of continuity rooted in its landscape, then this chapter seeks to unveil how, within its enduring embrace, a rich, multi-sensory world unfolded, fostering a profound and often overlooked sense of peace and well-being across generations. We shall observe how the very fabric of existence within these walls was woven with threads of quiet comfort, creating an atmosphere that transcended mere physical protection, nurturing the soul with its gentle rhythms and evocative details. Imagine, if you will, standing at the threshold of a solar, perhaps, or lingering within the sheltered embrace of an inner courtyard. Here, the formidable stone walls, which from afar might suggest an austere silence, were in fact permeable to a symphony of soft sounds, meticulously curated by nature and human presence alike. The distant gentle rustle of leaves from a nearby copse, softened by the intervening masonry, would often blend seamlessly with the quiet chirping of sparrows nesting in the eaves, or the cooing of pigeons perched high on a battlement. One might discern the faint rhythmic clatter from the kitchen below, a comforting testament to ongoing sustenance, or the hushed murmur of voices engaged in quiet conversation from a nearby chamber, a constant reminder of communal warmth and connection. The subtle creak of ancient timbers settling, the soft tap-tap of a weaver's shuttle, or the gentle scratch of a scribe's quill upon parchment in a quiet corner, each sound, delicate and unhurried, contributed to an auditory landscape that was inherently calming, never jarring, always inviting a deeper sense of presence and tranquility. This was not a world of stark silence, but rather one filled with a gentle, ambient hum of life, a quiet reassurance that all was well within the protected confines. And then there was the light, a constantly shifting, ethereal dance that painted the interiors with hues of golden warmth and contemplative shadow. Unlike the harsh, unyielding glare of modern illumination, the light within a medieval castle was a softer, more nuanced presence. During the day, sunlight, filtered through narrow, deeply splayed windows, would cast long, elegant shafts across stone floors, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air like tiny shimmering stars, or highlighting the intricate patterns of a woven tapestry. In private chambers the light might be softer still, diffused by oiled parchment or thin linen, creating an intimate glow conducive to quiet reading or thoughtful contemplation. As dusk approached, the transition was gradual and graceful. The fading natural light would slowly yield to the flickering embrace of hearth fires, their dancing flames casting dynamic, comforting shadows upon the walls, inviting an instinctive gathering around their warmth. Candles, made from beeswax or tallow, would then begin to bloom, their soft golden glow transforming the robust stone into something remarkably inviting, creating pools of intimate light that encourage storytelling, quiet reflection, and a profound sense of security against the encroaching night. This interplay of natural and artificial light was not merely functional. It was an art form, a subtle orchestration that fostered a perpetual state of serene ambience, encouraging the mind to slow, to observe, and to simply be. Beyond sight and sound, the olfactory tapestry of a medieval castle was equally rich and profoundly grounding, a constant gentle reminder of life's comforting necessities and simple pleasures. The pervasive, yet subtle scent of wood smoke emanating from numerous hearths was a foundational aroma, a deep earthy note that spoke of warmth, cooking, and the very essence of home. This would often mingle with the sweet, clean fragrance of beeswax candles, their gentle exhalation adding a note of refined purity to the air. From the gardens, wafts of fragrant herbs, lavender, mint, rosemary, would drift through open windows and archways, especially in warmer months, infusing the air with their soothing natural essences. Within the great hall or private chambers, dried herbs and flowers, scattered on the floor or tucked into sachets, released their subtle perfumes, acting as natural air fresheners and contributing to a sense of freshness and well-being. And of course, the comforting aromas from the kitchen were a constant inviting presence. The hearty scent of simmering stews, freshly baked bread, roasting meats, and sweet fruit tarts, all promising nourishment and communal feasting. These layers of scent, ever present yet rarely overwhelming, created an invisible, comforting blanket that enveloped the inhabitants, connecting them deeply to the rhythms of the earth and the sustaining rituals of daily life. The tactile world within the castle walls further contributed to this pervasive sense of comfort and security. The cool, unyielding solidity of the stone itself, though perhaps initially perceived as stark, was in fact a profound source of reassurance, a constant tangible reminder of the castle's protective embrace. Yet, this robustness was always softened by a multitude of inviting textures. Imagine the luxurious feel of woven tapestries, depicting vibrant scenes or heraldic patterns, hanging on walls not merely for decoration but also to provide insulation and a soft acoustic buffer, inviting the touch with their intricate threads and comforting weight. The floors, often stone, were frequently covered with rushes, herbs, or woven mats, offering a more yielding surface underfoot and releasing subtle, fresh scents with every step. In bedchambers, the experience was one of ultimate softness. Thick wool blankets, feather beds, and linen sheets, all inviting deep rest and tactile pleasure. Even the rough-hewn timbers of a ceiling or the smooth, worn surface of a wooden table offered their own unique sensory input, grounding one in the materiality of the space. This deliberate contrast between the castle's formidable structure and the soft, inviting textures within created a dynamic tension that ultimately resolved into a profound sense of cozy security, a haven where both strength and comfort coexisted harmoniously. Within this rich sensory environment, the pace of life itself encouraged a quiet art of observation and reflection. The absence of constant external distractions, so prevalent in our modern world, allowed for a deeper engagement with one's immediate surroundings. One might spend an unhurried hour simply watching the play of light on a carved stone capital, tracing the intricate patterns of a tapestry, or observing the delicate artistry of a stained glass panel as it transformed sunlight into jewel-toned meditations. The quiet industry of skilled artisans, whether illuminating a manuscript, carving a wooden chest, or weaving a length of cloth, became a source of calm fascination, a gentle reminder of the beauty inherent in meticulous craftsmanship. Even the simple act of gazing out from a window across the fields or into the quiet courtyard became an exercise in peaceful contemplation, connecting the individual to the broader, yet protected, world beyond the immediate confines. This environment fostered a natural inclination towards introspection, a gentle invitation to pause, to breathe, and to find beauty and meaning in the seemingly mundane, cultivating an inner tranquility that was deeply restorative. Ultimately, the medieval castle, in its ingenious blend of formidable form and functional comfort, served as far more than a mere defensive stronghold. It was a masterfully crafted vessel for well-being, a multi-sensory sanctuary designed to cradle its inhabitants in a profound sense of safety, belonging, and enduring peace. Every element, from the gentle symphony of sounds to the ethereal dance of light, from the grounding olfactory tapestry to the comforting tactile world, conspired to create an atmosphere of quietude and reassurance. The structured rhythms of life within these walls, supported by the constant yet subtle sensory input, encouraged a slower, more deliberate way of being, fostering not just physical security, but a deep, pervasive sense of psychological comfort. It was a place where the soul could truly find repose, a testament to an era where human ingenuity and an understanding of intrinsic human needs converged to create oases of tranquility that continue, even through the mists of time, to whisper their ancient comforting secrets. And so we conclude our journey, leaving you with the enduring impression of these magnificent structures as not just monuments of power, but as profound havens of peace, designed with an intuitive wisdom that speaks directly to our timeless longing for comfort and serenity. As the rich tapestry of sensory experiences within the medieval castle gently settles around us, we invite you now to delve deeper, to move beyond the immediate perceptions and immerse yourselves in the profound, calming rhythms that defined daily life within these sturdy walls. We have journeyed through the gentle sounds, the shifting lights, the grounding scents, and the comforting textures that created an unexpected inner world of tranquility. Now, let us observe how these elements were woven into a predictable, purposeful, and profoundly peaceful existence, transforming routine into a quiet art form, a source of deep well-being. Imagine, if you will, the soft awakening of the castle as the first blush of dawn filters through arrow slits and narrow windows, painting the rough-hewn stone with hues of muted gold and nascent silver. There was no jarring alarm, no sudden clamour to shatter the stillness. Instead, the castle stirred with a gentle, gradual unfolding, a symphony of quiet sounds that began to layer upon the lingering quiet of the night. Perhaps the distant crow of a rooster from the outer bailey, the soft huff of a stable hand leading a horse to water, or the muffled clinking of a bucket being lowered into a well. These were the gentle heralds of a new day, signalling a return to the comforting, predictable patterns of life. We encourage you to breathe in this imagined morning air, crisp and fresh, perhaps carrying the faint scent of damp earth and the lingering warmth of yesterday's hearth fires. The castle was not a static monument, but a living entity, its pulse beginning to quicken with a quiet purpose. One might notice the soft shuffling of servants preparing the morning meal, the gentle murmur of prayers from the private chapel, or the distant rhythmic thump-thump of a weaver's loom already at work. These were not demands upon the senses, but rather an ambient hum, a reassuring backdrop that underscored the castle's enduring vitality and its commitment to a continuous, well-ordered existence. This steady rhythm, unhurried and deeply ingrained, offered a profound sense of security and belonging, anchoring the inhabitants in the present moment, free from the anxieties of an unpredictable world. Central to this enduring rhythm, and indeed to the very heart of the castle's comfort, was the ever-present hearth. More than merely a source of warmth or a place for cooking, the great hearth in the hall and the smaller ones in private chambers served as the castle's glowing living core. Its constant crackling presence was a visual and auditory anchor, a symbol of continuity and enduring life. Throughout the day its flames danced and swayed, casting flickering patterns upon the walls, creating a dynamic interplay of light and shadow that softened the stone and imbued every space with a welcoming golden ambience. The scent of wood smoke, often infused with the aroma of simmering herbs or roasting meats, became an integral part of the castle's unique olfactory signature, a comforting presence that spoke of home and sustenance. To sit by the hearth, to feel its radiating warmth, to watch the mesmerizing dance of the flames, was to engage in a primal act of contemplation, a quiet moment of peace that transcended the demands of daily life. As the day progressed, the castle's inhabitants engaged in tasks that, while practical, were often imbued with a quiet artistry, a dedication to craft that elevated the mundane into something deeply satisfying. We invite you to envision the workshops, perhaps tucked away in a quiet corner of the inner bailey or within a sturdy tower. Here, the air might be filled with the subtle scent of wood shavings or tanned leather, the rhythmic tap-tap-tap of a hammer, or the soft rasp of a file. The artisan, focused and deliberate, worked with a quiet intensity, transforming raw materials into objects of utility and beauty. Consider the weaver, her hands moving with practiced grace across the loom, the rhythmic clack of the shuttle, the soft thud as the comb pressed the weft into place, created a soothing, almost hypnotic soundtrack. With each pass, threads of wool or linen slowly transformed into intricate patterns, destined to become tapestries that would adorn cold stone walls, offering both insulation and vibrant visual stories, or to be fashioned into practical garments and blankets. There was a profound satisfaction in this creation, a tangible connection between effort and outcome, fostering a deep sense of purpose and contributing to the overall comfort and aesthetic richness of the castle environment. These textiles, handcrafted with care, softened the formidable stone, turning stark chambers into inviting, warm spaces. Similarly, the carpenter, with tools honed by generations of use, shaped timber into sturdy furniture, intricate chests, or essential structural elements. The scent of freshly cut oak or pine, the quiet scrape of a plane, the precise thwack of an axe, all spoke of skilled hands bringing form and function into being. Each joint, each carved detail was a testament to patience and craftsmanship, ensuring that the castle's interior was not merely functional, but also aesthetically pleasing, a true testament to the beauty found in utility. These handcrafted pieces, often passed down through families, provided a tangible link to the past, reinforcing the castle's role as a multi-generational home and a repository of enduring traditions. And then there was the quiet sanctuary of the scriptorium, often a sun-drenched chamber where light was precious and silence was paramount. Here, the soft scratch of a quill upon parchment, the gentle rustle of turning pages, and the subtle scent of ink and aged vellum created an atmosphere of profound intellectual calm. Monks or scribes painstakingly copied texts, illuminating them with vibrant pigments, preserving knowledge, and creating works of breathtaking beauty. This was a space for quiet contemplation, for the focused pursuit of learning, offering a serene counterpoint to the more active aspects of castle life. The act of creating these illuminated manuscripts was a meditative practice in itself, each stroke of the brush, each carefully formed letter, a testament to dedication and a source of quiet joy. These precious books, held within the castle's walls, represented not only intellectual wealth, but also a profound commitment to the inner life, offering solace and stimulation to the mind. Returning to the very heart of daily sustenance, let us revisit the castle kitchen, not just as a source of delicious aromas, but as a vibrant yet harmonious hub of activity. Beyond the simmering stews and baking bread we have previously savoured, imagine the constant purposeful movement of cooks and kitchen staff, the gentle thud of dough being kneaded, the rhythmic chop 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 of vegetables being prepared, the soft sizzle of ingredients in a pan. These sounds mingled to create a comforting, continuous soundtrack of nourishment. The kitchen was a place of communal effort, where ingredients from the castle's own gardens, fields, and forests were transformed through skill and care into meals that sustained body and spirit. The connection to the land was palpable and deeply grounding. we envision the bounty of the castle's kitchen gardens, stretching beyond the immediate walls, a vibrant tapestry of herbs, vegetables and fruit trees. The cycle of planting, tending and harvesting was a reassuring rhythm, a tangible link to the earth and the seasons. This self-sufficiency, born of necessity, fostered a profound sense of security and independence. Knowing that the castle could provide for its own, that the earth generously yielded its fruits, instilled a deep, quiet confidence, a freedom from external anxieties that allowed for a greater focus on internal peace and well-being. The act of gathering herbs, of selecting the freshest produce, was a gentle ritual, connecting the castle's inhabitants directly to the source of their nourishment and to the natural world just beyond their formidable defences. Beyond the physical sustenance and the quiet artistry of craft, the medieval castle also nurtured the soul, offering sanctuaries for spiritual and intellectual pursuits. The chapel, often a beautifully appointed space within the castle walls, served as a profound source of solace and reflection. Here, the air was imbued with a different kind of quiet, a sacred stillness that invited introspection. The soft glow of candlelight, illuminating intricate carvings or the rich hues of stained glass windows, created an atmosphere of reverence and peace. The quiet murmur of prayers, the gentle cadence of plain song, or the resonant tones of a bell for daily services provided a structured rhythm of spiritual renewal. For many, the chapel was a vital retreat, a place to find inner peace, to connect with a sense of purpose and meaning that transcended the temporal world. It offered a quiet assurance, a spiritual anchor in the ebb and flow of life, reinforcing the castle's role as a complete and nurturing home. And let us not forget the enduring power of music and storytelling, elements that wove joy and connection throughout the castle's daily fabric. Whether it was the gentle strumming of a lute by the hearth, the lilting melody of a flute, or the resonant voices of minstrels recounting ancient tales, these artistic expressions provided emotional depth and cultural continuity. Storytelling, in particular, was a cherished communal activity, gathering inhabitants around the warmth of the fire, transporting them through narratives of heroism, love, and wonder. These shared experiences fostered a profound sense of community and belonging, creating bonds that strengthened the castle's inner harmony. They offered a gentle escape, a journey of the imagination that was both entertaining and deeply nourishing to the spirit, reinforcing the comforting truth that even within formidable walls there was ample space for joy, connection, and the quiet celebration of human experience. As we reflect upon these gentle rhythms, the quiet dedication of artisans, the comforting heartbeat of the kitchen, and the sanctuaries for mind and spirit, we begin to perceive the medieval castle not merely as a collection of stone and timber, but as a living, breathing entity, a profound and enduring home. It was a place where generations lived, loved, toiled, and found solace, leaving behind an indelible imprint of their lives. This multi-generational continuity fostered an immense sense of belonging, a feeling of being rooted in something ancient and steadfast. The very stones themselves seemed to whisper tales of past lives, creating a powerful connection to history and a comforting sense of permanence in an often unstable world. The castle, therefore, was far more than a defensive structure. It was a carefully curated environment designed for comprehensive well-being. Its robust defences paradoxically created an inner world of profound peace, allowing its inhabitants to focus on the gentle art of living, on community, on craft, and on spiritual nourishment. We invite you to carry this understanding with you, to let the image of such a home, vibrant with life, rich in quiet purpose, and imbued with an unexpected serenity, settle gently within your mind. It is a testament to the human spirit's enduring capacity to create comfort, beauty, and peace, even within the most formidable of settings. Let this quiet realization be a source of deep relaxation, a gentle reminder of the unexpected tranquility that can be found in history's most enduring structures. Welcome once more, dear companions, to our serene sojourn within the gentle embrace of the medieval castle. As we have journeyed through its robust walls and intimate chambers, we have come to understand that this formidable structure was, at its heart, a meticulously crafted haven, a vibrant ecosystem of comfort and security. Yet the profound sense of ease and well-being that permeated castle life was not merely a consequence of architectural ingenuity or strategic provisioning. It was also the elegant outcome of a complex yet often unseen choreography of human effort and dedicated service. We invite you now to step behind the grand narratives of lords and ladies, to observe the quiet, rhythmic pulse of the castle's operational heart, where a multitude of hands worked in harmonious concert to weave the very fabric of daily comfort. Imagine, if you will, the castle as a sophisticated organism, each part playing its vital role, contributing to the smooth, almost effortless flow of life within its protective shell. This intricate dance of duty and dedication created an atmosphere where the primary inhabitants, the lord and lady and their immediate family, could find profound relaxation, unburdened by the practical necessities of everyday existence. It is a subtle but pervasive form of comfort, knowing that the needs of the household are met with quiet efficiency, allowing minds to drift towards contemplation, leisure, or the gentle governance of their lands. We turn our attention first to the gentle hum that emanated from the castle's deeper recesses, particularly from the bustling yet organised heart of its culinary domain, the kitchens. Far from the chaotic, smoke-filled hovels often depicted in popular imagination, the medieval castle kitchen was a marvel of functional design and coordinated effort. Here, amidst the robust hearths and the gleaming copper pots, a dedicated team of cooks, scullions, bakers, and brewers worked with a practiced rhythm. The sounds were not of frantic shouting, but of purposeful activity. The soft thud of dough being kneaded, the steady sizzle of fat in a pan, the gentle clatter of wooden spoons against earthenware, and the quiet murmur of instructions exchanged. The air, rich with the tantalizing fragrances of simmering stews, roasting meats, freshly baked bread, and aromatic herbs, was a constant comforting presence, a promise of nourishment and warmth. This olfactory tapestry, woven from wholesome ingredients and skilled preparation, contributed immensely to the psychological comfort of all within the castle walls. It was a sensory anchor, grounding the experience in the nourishing fundamentals of life. Beyond the kitchen, the meticulous care extended to every corner of the castle. Consider the tireless work of the chamberlains and their attendants, whose quiet diligence ensured the comfort and cleanliness of the private chambers. Each morning, fires would be rekindled in the solas and bedchambers, chasing away the lingering chill of the night, their flickering light casting a soft golden ambience. Beds, often adorned with rich hangings and feather mattresses, were carefully made, their linen smoothed, inviting restful repose. Garments were mended and cleaned, ensuring a sense of personal freshness and dignity. This discreet service, performed with a quiet grace, allowed the castle's residents to awaken to an environment of warmth and order, their personal spaces ready to embrace them in gentle comfort. There was a profound serenity in this effortless provision, a quiet luxury that freed the mind from the mundane and allowed for deeper forms of engagement. The castle's tranquility was further enhanced by the presence of specialist artisans and crafters, whose focused work added not only to the castle's self-sufficiency, but also to its aesthetic and intellectual richness. We invite you to imagine the quietude of the scriptorium, a dedicated space often bathed in the soft, natural light filtering through tall windows. Here, scribes, often monks or highly educated clerks, would meticulously copy and illuminate manuscripts. The only sounds would be the gentle scratching of quills on parchment, the rustle of pages, and perhaps the occasional quiet turning of a heavy tome. This was a sanctuary of knowledge and contemplation, a place where the mind could find solace in the beauty of language and the wisdom of ages. The vibrant colours of illuminated letters, the intricate designs adorning the margins, and the very act of preserving knowledge, all spoke of a deep respect for learning and beauty, contributing to a sense of intellectual nourishment that was deeply relaxing. To possess such a collection, or to witness its creation, provided a quiet pride and a profound connection to the wider world of thought and artistry. Indeed, the aesthetic dimension of castle life was a deliberate cultivation of beauty, designed to uplift the spirit and soothe the eye. While functionality was paramount, medieval craftsmanship often imbued everyday objects with an understated elegance. We have spoken of tapestries providing warmth and insulation, but their intricate narratives and vibrant colours also served as windows into other worlds, offering visual delight and stimulating quiet reflection. Carved wooden furniture, often adorned with delicate motifs, and the subtle glint of polished silver or pewter at the dining table, all contributed to an environment that was pleasing to the senses. Even the formidable stone walls, in their sheer solidity and permanence, offered a subtle beauty, a testament to enduring strength and the passage of time. The skilled hands that shaped these elements, from the stonemason to the woodcarver, were creating not just structures or objects, but an atmosphere, a visual symphony that resonated with peace and quiet appreciation. Let us also return to the castle gardens, those verdant oases within and without the inner bailey, but now with a focus on their role as spaces of deliberate contemplation and gentle sensory engagement. Beyond their practical purpose of providing herbs and vegetables, many castles featured more formal gardens, designed for leisurely strolls and quiet repose. Imagine a secluded knot garden, its precise geometric patterns of fragrant herbs and low-growing flowers inviting a slow, meandering path. Or perhaps a shaded arbour, draped with climbing roses, offering a cool retreat from the midday sun, the air thick with their sweet perfume. The gentle murmur of a small fountain, or the distant cooing of doves might be the only sounds to break the stillness, creating an atmosphere of profound tranquility. These were spaces intentionally crafted for moments of quiet reflection, for reading, for gentle conversation, or simply for observing the delicate dance of butterflies among the blossoms. They were natural extensions of the castle's inner peace, allowing its inhabitants to reconnect with the calming rhythms of nature without ever stepping beyond the security of its walls. The collective efforts of the stable hands, ensuring the well-being of the horses, the laundresses, whose diligent washing filled the air with the fresh scent of clean linen, the pages and squires, attending to the needs of the lord and lady with youthful energy and growing responsibility. All these individuals formed a complex web of service. Their coordinated activities created an almost invisible foundation of comfort, allowing the castle's primary residents to experience a life largely free from the daily burdens of upkeep and domestic labour. This freed capacity, this mental spaciousness, was perhaps one of the greatest luxuries the castle afforded, fostering an environment where deep relaxation, intellectual pursuits, and spiritual contemplation could truly flourish. Thus, we find that the medieval castle was far more than a mere collection of stones and timbers. It was a living, breathing entity, meticulously organized and diligently served, designed to create a comprehensive sense of well-being. The unseen choreography of daily duties, the quiet dedication of its inhabitants, and the intentional cultivation of beauty and knowledge all converge to form an atmosphere of profound serenity and effortless comfort. It was a place where the gentle hum of purposeful activity underscored a deep and abiding peace, a testament to human ingenuity in crafting not just a defence, but a true sanctuary for the body, mind, and spirit. As we observe this intricate dance of comfort, we are reminded once more that the medieval castle, in its multifaceted design, offered an unexpected and enduring invitation to relaxation, a silent promise of security and ease that echoed through its hallowed halls. As we continue our gentle journey through the stone corridors and sun-dappled courtyards, we find ourselves drawn deeper into the very essence of the castle, beyond its physical comforts and practical provisions. We begin to perceive it not merely as a dwelling, but as a complete world, one designed to nourish not only the body but also the mind and spirit, fostering a profound sense of inner tranquility that extends far beyond the immediate moment. It is in this inner sanctum of thought and imagination that we uncover yet another layer of medieval serenity, a quiet engagement with knowledge and artistry that offered solace and enrichment. Imagine, if you will, a quiet chamber, perhaps a scriptorium bathed in the soft, diffused light filtering through a high, arched window. Here, the air itself seems to hum with a gentle industry, the rhythmic scratch of a quill upon parchment, a sound as meditative and enduring as the drip of water in a hidden spring. This was the realm of the scribe, a figure whose patient dedication contributed immeasurably to the castle's intellectual tapestry. We see them, bent over their work, meticulously illuminating manuscripts, each stroke of gold leaf or vibrant pigment a testament to devotion and an act of creation that brought beauty and meaning into the world. These were not merely records, they were works of art, repositories of wisdom, and sources of quiet contemplation. To possess such a book, to turn its heavy vellum pages, was to hold a universe of thought and story, a tangible link to ancient narratives and new ideas, all within the secure confines of the castle walls. The very act of reading, a silent and personal communion, offered an unparalleled escape, a journey of the mind that required no physical movement, only a gentle turning inward. Beyond the solitary pursuit of the written word, the castle thrummed with the shared narratives of oral tradition. As dusk settled, gathering shadows around the great hearth, we can almost hear the resonant voice of a storyteller, weaving tales of heroes and faraway lands, of ancient myths and local legends. These were the evenings when the imagination took flight, when the communal spirit was strengthened by shared wonder and shared laughter. The flickering firelight danced across attentive faces, illuminating expressions of awe and delight, forging bonds of connection and belonging. Such storytelling was a balm for the soul, a gentle current carrying listeners away from the mundane, fostering a sense of shared heritage and a peaceful unity that transcended individual worries. It was a form of collective relaxation, a quiet surrender to the power of narrative, a timeless human comfort. And then there was the music. Oh, the gentle melodies that would drift through the castle halls, sometimes a solo lute played with tender introspection. At other times the harmonious blend of voices in a madrigal, or the bright reedy sound of a pipe. Music was not merely entertainment, it was a fundamental aspect of life, marking celebrations, accompanying meals, or simply providing a soothing backdrop to the quiet rhythm of the day. Imagine a harpist, fingers gracefully plucking strings, sending forth notes that seem to hang in the air, softening the stone, filling the space with an ethereal beauty. The subtle vibrations, the rise and fall of a melody, had a profound calming effect, a universal language that spoke directly to the heart, inviting a release of tension, a quiet moment of emotional resonance. It was an auditory embrace, a gentle invitation to simply be, to listen, and to allow the harmonious sounds to wash over one, leaving behind a feeling of peace and contentment. Even the quieter pastimes, the games played in the common rooms or private chambers, contributed to this atmosphere of mental tranquility. We picture the focused concentration around a chessboard, the click of pieces, the thoughtful silence punctuated by an occasional murmur of strategy. Games like chess, backgammon, or dice games, though engaging the mind, were often played in a spirit of camaraderie rather than intense competition. They offered a different kind of mental engagement, a playful challenge that diverted the mind from anxieties, fostering a light-hearted atmosphere of shared enjoyment. These were moments of quiet focus, of gentle intellectual stimulation that provided a welcome respite, reminding us that even within the practicalities of castle life, there was ample space for leisure and thoughtful recreation. As we step away from these scenes of intellectual and artistic pursuit, we are drawn by another subtle, yet profound element of serenity within the castle, the presence of water. Water, so essential for life, also served as a source of quiet beauty and a tangible symbol of purity and renewal. We observe the castle's wells and cisterns deep and cool, providing a constant supply of fresh, clear water, the gentle splash of a bucket being drawn, the glint of sunlight on the water's surface. These simple sights and sounds offered a grounding connection to a fundamental element of nature. They were not merely utilitarian, they were vital arteries, their constant flow a subtle reminder of life's continuity and provision. And in certain privileged courtyards, one might even discover a small, artfully designed fountain, its waters gently bubbling and spilling into a basin. The ceaseless, lulling murmur of flowing water is a universally recognized sound of peace, a natural white noise that soothes the senses and encourages introspection. Such a fountain, perhaps surrounded by fragrant herbs and delicate flowers, would have been an oasis for quiet contemplation, a place to sit and simply listen, allowing the rhythmic sound to wash away the day's trivialities, fostering a deep sense of calm. The visual spectacle of the water's dance, ever-changing yet constant, reflected the sky and the surrounding architecture, creating a dynamic yet utterly peaceful focal point. Even the formidable moat, often perceived solely as a defensive barrier, held its own unexpected tranquility. When viewed from within the castle walls, its still or gently rippling surface could act as a vast shimmering mirror, reflecting the ever-changing sky, the majestic stone, and the quiet clouds drifting overhead. It created a serene visual boundary, a clear demarcation between the secure inner world and the often turbulent outer one. One might observe waterfowl gliding gracefully across its surface, or the subtle dance of reeds at its edge, adding a natural organic beauty to the castle's perimeter. The moat in this light transforms from a symbol of exclusion to a tranquil expanse, reinforcing the sense of protected peace within. Its very presence, a quiet body of water encircling the heart of the home, contributed to the profound psychological comfort of being safely ensconced, a liquid embrace that solidified the feeling of sanctuary. Finally, we turn our attention to the very fabric of the castle itself, the enduring stone, the ancient mortar, the unyielding strength that has stood for centuries. There is a deep, abiding sense of permanence woven into the very architecture, a quiet reassurance that emanates from walls that have witnessed generations come and go. These castles were not built for fleeting moments, but for the long arc of time, for the continuity of family, community, and purpose. To dwell within such a structure was to feel a profound connection to history, to stand upon ground that had absorbed countless lives, joys and sorrows, yet remained steadfast. The castle, in its quiet strength, offered a bulwark against the ephemeral nature of the outside world, a timeless sanctuary where the rapid currents of change seemed to slow almost to a halt. The massive walls, the deep foundations, the very weight of the stone spoke of an unwavering stability, a refusal to yield to the whims of time or fortune. This inherent power, paradoxically, allowed for a profoundly gentle and secure existence within. One could feel rooted, anchored, unburdened by the anxieties of impermanence, knowing that the very stones around them had endured and would continue to endure. It fostered a deep, almost subconscious sense of safety and continuity, a quiet confidence in the enduring nature of one's home and heritage. In the contemplation of these enduring stones, we find a final, profound layer of relaxation. It is the peace that comes from knowing one is part of something larger, something that transcends individual lives, offering a deep sense of belonging and an unbroken chain of existence. The castle, in its silent grandeur, reminds us that stability, beauty, and thoughtful living were not mere aspirations, but tangible realities, carefully crafted and continuously nurtured within its protective embrace. We are left with a quiet awe, a deep appreciation for these formidable yet gentle havens, which offered not just shelter, but a complete and enduring sense of peace. As we continue our gentle sojourn through the enduring stone embrace of the medieval castle, we invite you to drift further into the subtle nuances that rendered these formidable structures into oases of unexpected tranquility. Having explored the inner sanctums of warmth, the rhythmic pulse of daily life, and the reassuring choreography of its inhabitants, we now turn our contemplative gaze outward and then inward once more, to appreciate the ingenious ways these bastions of security harmonized with the natural world and fostered a profound sense of well-being through meticulous design and skilled hands. Imagine, if you will, the castle not as an isolated monolith, but as a living entity, deeply rooted in the very landscape it commanded. From the lofty vantage points of its battlements and the thoughtfully placed windows of its private chambers, one was afforded expansive vistas that stretched beyond the immediate defensive perimeter. These were not merely strategic views for spotting approaching threats. They were also ever-changing tapestries of natural beauty, offering a continuous, calming connection to the world outside. The gentle undulations of distant hills, the verdant sweep of meadows, the meandering silver ribbon of a river, or the deep, sheltering embrace of an ancient forest, all contributed to an atmosphere of serene contemplation, the very air carrying the scent of pine from the woods, or the damp earth after a gentle rain, would filter through the embrasures, a refreshing counterpoint to the warm stone within, reminding inhabitants of the broader, peaceful rhythms of the natural world. This constant visual and olfactory dialogue with nature served as a gentle balm for the spirit, anchoring the castle's inhabitants within a larger, benevolent ecosystem, fostering a sense of belonging that transcended the immediate confines of their walls. Life within the castle was, in essence, a microcosm attuned to the grander cycles of the seasons, a silent, comforting clock that governed the flow of activity and provided varied forms of solace. From the castle windows one could observe the vibrant greens of spring giving way to the golden bounty of summer fields, the fiery hues of autumn leaves painting the distant woodlands, and the hushed, pristine white of winter snow blanketing the landscape. Each season brought its own unique beauty and its own gentle demands, shaping the rhythm of life without and echoing within the castle walls. The crackling hearths burned brighter in winter, offering a cosy refuge against the chill, while the sun-drenched courtyards and gardens beckoned in summer, providing cool, shaded retreats. This intimate awareness of nature's perpetual dance, observed from a place of secure warmth and comfort, instilled a deep, almost subconscious sense of continuity and peace, a quiet assurance that despite the world's ever-shifting currents, certain fundamental rhythms endured, offering a steadying presence in daily existence. Beyond the aesthetic integration with nature, the medieval castle was a marvel of practical ingenuity, particularly in its management of one of life's most essential elements, water. We invite you to consider the sophisticated systems designed to provide a constant, clean supply, a fundamental comfort often overlooked. Deep wells, meticulously dug and lined, tapped into underground springs, ensuring a reliable source of fresh, cool drinking water. These wells were often strategically located within the inner bailey, easily accessible yet protected, their quiet depths a testament to human foresight. Furthermore, many castles incorporated ingenious cisterns for collecting rainwater, channeling it from roofs and courtyards into vast subterranean reservoirs. This dual approach to water acquisition meant that the castle was often self-sufficient, a vital aspect of its enduring comfort and security, preventing the anxieties associated with scarcity and ensuring a consistent supply for cooking, cleaning, and personal hygiene. The very presence of abundant clean water brought with it an unspoken sense of well-being, a foundational layer of comfort that permeated daily life, contributing significantly to the overall health and peace of mind of the inhabitants. And then there is the subtle, soothing presence of water itself, not merely as a utility, but as an element of sensory tranquility within the castle's living spaces. Imagine the gentle splash of a courtyard fountain, its rhythmic murmur a constant calming accompaniment to the quiet hum of daily life. Or perhaps the soft, almost imperceptible drip of water in a cool cellar, a quiet symphony of natural processes at work. Even the more practical aspects of water management contributed to an unexpected sense of ease. Consider the garderobes, often misunderstood as crude facilities. In truth, many were ingeniously designed, featuring a vertical shaft that dropped waste into a cesspit or directly into the moat, often with a vent to allow for air circulation. While not a modern flush toilet, these systems were discreet and surprisingly effective for their time, demonstrating a thoughtful approach to sanitation that significantly enhanced the comfort and health of the castle's residents. The continuous flow of air and the strategic placement of these facilities, often in thick outer walls, minimized odors and contributed to a cleaner, more pleasant internal environment than popular myth often suggests, allowing for a relaxed and unburdened daily existence. As we gently wander through the castle's robust structures, we also invite you to appreciate the profound artistry and meticulous craftsmanship that permeated every aspect of medieval life within these walls. The castle was not merely built, but crafted by skilled hands whose dedication to their trade infused every stone, every timber, every woven tapestry with a quiet dignity and enduring quality. Imagine the carpenters, with their precise joinery, fashioning sturdy furniture, intricately carved chests, and the very beams that supported the castle's roofs. Envision the masons, whose patient chisels shaped the formidable stones, creating not only defensive walls but also elegant archways, delicate window tracery, and the smooth surfaces of hearths. Within the castle, the quiet rhythmic work of these artisans was a constant presence, a gentle hum of purposeful activity that spoke of creation and order. This inherent appreciation for skilled labour meant that everyday objects were often imbued with a beauty and durability that brought a subtle yet profound sense of comfort and aesthetic pleasure to their users, transforming mere utility into an experience of quiet luxury. The sensory tapestry of the castle was further enriched by the very sounds of this meticulous craftsmanship. Picture the soft, rhythmic clatter of a loom in a dedicated chamber, weaving intricate tapestries that brought warmth, colour and storytelling to the stone walls. Envision the gentle scratch of a scribe's quill in the scriptorium, meticulously illuminating manuscripts, each stroke a testament to patience and devotion. Hear the distant melodic tap of a blacksmith's hammer from the outer bailey, shaping metal into tools, hinges, or decorative ironwork. These sounds, far from being jarring, were integral to the castle's living ambience, a soothing background hum of human endeavour and creativity. They spoke of a self-sufficient community, a place where beauty and utility were seamlessly intertwined, where the quiet pride of creation fostered a pervasive sense of order and purpose. This constant, gentle symphony of skilled hands at work contributed to an atmosphere of deep security and settled peace, assuring inhabitants that the world within their walls was one of constant care and thoughtful construction. Indeed, the castle was a masterwork of varied environments, a collection of, quote, zero, each designed for a specific function, and offering a distinct sensory experience, contributing to a holistic sense of well-being. Descend into the cool, quiet depths of the castle cellars, where provisions were stored and the air was perpetually fresh and still, a natural refrigerator offering a calming respite from the warmer upper levels. Ascend to the bustling aromatic warmth of the kitchens, a hearth-centred hub of activity, filled with the comforting sense of simmering stews and freshly baked bread. Then step out onto the battlements, where the air is fresh and often breezy, offering expansive views and a sense of connection to the vast sky and distant horizons, a place for contemplation and observation. Retreat finally to the private solar or camera rooms, designed for intimate warmth and quiet reflection, insulated by thick walls and rich hangings, offering a sanctuary of personal peace. This deliberate architectural diversity meant that within the castle's encompassing structure, one could always find a space perfectly attuned to one's current needs, be it for warmth or coolness, solitude or community, quietude or gentle activity. This thoughtful provision of varied atmospheres ensured that the castle was not a monotonous enclosure, but a dynamic, comforting dwelling designed for the full spectrum of human experience. In essence, the medieval castle, with its deep wells, its harmonious integration with the landscape, its ingenious sanitation, and its vibrant tapestry of skilled craftsmanship, emerges as a truly self-contained world of unexpected comfort and profound security. It was a place where human ingenuity met the demands of daily life with grace and resilience, transforming stone and timber into a living, breathing sanctuary. The careful provision of fresh water, the conscious attunement to seasonal rhythms, and the pervasive presence of quality craftsmanship all converged to create an environment that was not merely habitable, but deeply nourishing to the body and spirit. This comprehensive approach to living, where every detail contributed to a larger sense of order and well-being, allowed the castle's inhabitants to experience a daily life imbued with a quiet confidence and a pervasive sense of peace. We hope that this deeper exploration into the castle's relationship with its environment and the meticulous care embedded in its very fabric further solidifies your understanding of these magnificent structures as true havens of tranquility. We continue to peel back the layers of popular myth, revealing a reality far richer, far more comforting, and infinitely more relaxing than often imagined. The castle stands as a testament to humanity's enduring capacity to create places of profound security and gentle solace, even amidst the perceived challenges of a distant past, inviting us to find our own quiet peace within its timeless embrace. We have journeyed together through the inviting corridors and vibrant chambers of the medieval castle, gradually peeling back the layers of popular myth to reveal a profound and often unexpected reality of comfort and thoughtful design. We have lingered in the warmth of the great hall, found solace in the private solar, and marvelled at the ingenious systems that brought water and light into these ancient abodes. Yet, as we continue our gentle exploration, we invite you to delve even deeper into the subtle, often overlooked design philosophies that transformed these formidable structures into true havens of peace and well-being. It is in the nuanced interplay of elements, the almost imperceptible considerations, that we discover the true artistry of medieval living, a deliberate crafting of an environment designed to nurture the soul as much as it protected the body. Let us now turn our attention to the delicate dance of light within these stone sanctuaries, a dance far more intricate and intentional than one might initially imagine, while the flickering glow of hearths and the soft radiance of candles provided essential warmth and illumination. During the longer nights, the medieval architect understood the profound psychological and physical benefits of natural light. Windows, though often smaller than their modern counterparts for reasons of defence and insulation, were not merely apertures in the wall. They were carefully positioned portals, designed to capture and channel the sun's benevolent rays, transforming the interior into a dynamic canvas of light and shadow. Imagine, if you will, the early morning light, a pale, pearlescent glow, filtering through a narrow arched window in a private chamber. It paints a shifting pattern upon a carved oak chest, slowly awakening the room with its gentle presence. As the sun ascends, these strategic openings would capture pockets of golden warmth, inviting contemplation on a window seat, a favoured spot where one could bask in the sun's embrace, feeling its subtle heat penetrate the thick woolen garments, offering a quiet moment of respite. The quality of this light was ever-changing, a slow, unhurried progression that attuned the castle's inhabitants to the natural rhythm of the day, a soothing cadence that modern, constant artificial light often obscures. Stained glass, where present, further transformed these rays into a kaleidoscope of muted, jewel-toned hues, casting serene patterns across stone floors and tapestries, creating an atmosphere of quiet reverence and beauty, particularly within the chapel or a lord's private oratory. This continuous yet gentle shift in illumination served as a natural clock, a visual poetry that underscored the passage of time without urgency, promoting a deep, almost primal connection to the world beyond the walls, even as it shielded one within. Beyond the visible light, we invite you to consider the unseen currents that contributed to the castle's comfort. The very air that circulated within its stone embrace, and the meticulous attention paid to cleanliness. The popular image of a medieval castle often conjures notions of dampness, mustiness, and a general lack of hygiene. We gently challenge this perception, revealing instead an ingenious, if sometimes rudimentary by modern standards, approach to maintaining a fresh and healthful environment. The sheer volume of space within a castle, combined with its strategic ventilation through windows, doorways, and even dedicated air shafts, prevented the stagnant air often associated with enclosed spaces. Fireplaces, while providing warmth, also created a draw, pulling stale air up and out through chimneys, effectively acting as early ventilation systems. And then there are the guardrobes, a subject often met with a slight wince, yet one that speaks volumes about the medieval desire for comfort and sanitation. Far from being crude, open pits, these were often ingeniously designed, projecting outwards from the castle walls or built into thick recesses. Their chutes typically dropped waste directly into the moat, where the flowing water would carry it away, or into a dedicated pit at the base of the wall, which would then be regularly cleaned by a specialized staff. Crucially, many garderobes were equipped with wooden seats for comfort and privacy, and some even featured small windows for light and ventilation. The very act of placing them within the thick walls, away from living spaces, was a deliberate attempt to minimize odors and maintain a sense of decorum and cleanliness in the main chambers. A constant household staff was dedicated to maintaining order and hygiene throughout the castle, from sweeping floors to managing waste, ensuring that the communal and private spaces remained as fresh and inviting as possible. This commitment to cleanliness, though different from our own, was a fundamental pillar of daily comfort, contributing to a sense of well-being that allowed the mind to relax, free from the anxieties of a disordered or unsanitary environment. Now, let us attune our senses to the subtle symphony of sounds within the castle walls, or perhaps, more accurately, the profound quietude that often reigned. The formidable thickness of the castle walls, designed to repel external threats, served a dual purpose. It created an acoustic sanctuary, effectively muffling the clamour of the outside world. The distant sounds of battle, the harsh cries of market vendors, or the howl of a winter storm were significantly softened, creating an interior world where more gentle sounds could flourish. Imagine the quiet rustle of heavy tapestries as a gentle breeze passes through an open window, the soft crackle of logs in the hearth, or the distant rhythmic clang of a blacksmith working in the outer bailey, a sound so familiar it became a part of the castle's soothing heartbeat. One might hear the quiet murmur of conversation in the great hall, the gentle strumming of a lute in a gallery, or the soft scratching of a scribe's quill in a quiet corner. These were not jarring noises, but rather a harmonious backdrop to daily life, a tapestry of sound that spoke of industry, community, and peace. The very architecture, with its vaulted ceilings and stone surfaces, could sometimes amplify voices, but it also absorbed and contained, preventing cacophony. This deliberate creation of an interior quiet allowed for deeper thought, undisturbed rest, and the simple pleasure of an uninterrupted moment, fostering a profound sense of inner calm. The castle, in essence, was a master conductor of sound, orchestrating an environment where peace could truly resonate. Within this grand tapestry of communal life, we also find threads of profound solitude and personal space intentionally woven into the castle's design, while the great hall bustled with activity and courtyards echoed with the sounds of daily work. The medieval castle also offered numerous retreats for quiet contemplation and individual solace. These were not accidental spaces, but deliberate architectural provisions for privacy and introspection, crucial elements for mental and emotional well-being. Consider the window seats, often deeply recessed into the thick walls, offering a sheltered nook where one could read a cherished manuscript, observe the changing landscape, or simply drift into quiet thought, bathed in the gentle light filtering through the glass. These were personal sanctuaries, small oases of calm where the individual could withdraw from the demands of communal living without truly being isolated. Similarly, the private chambers, such as the solar or camera rooms, were designed with a distinct emphasis on personal comfort and quiet. Here, a lord or lady could find respite, engage in private study, or entertain a small intimate circle of confidants. The presence of a personal fireplace, often smaller and more decorative than the great hall's hearth, added to the sense of cosy enclosure and warmth, creating an atmosphere conducive to relaxation and profound rest. Beyond these private rooms, the castle often housed dedicated spaces for spiritual reflection. The chapel, a central feature of almost every substantial castle, was designed as a sanctuary of peace and devotion. Its hushed atmosphere, often enhanced by the soft glow of candles and the serene beauty of religious art, provided a powerful antidote to the stresses of medieval life. Here, one could find quiet prayer, listen to the soothing chants of the household chaplain, or simply sit in tranquil contemplation, allowing the mind to quiet and the spirit to find solace. These spaces, whether a simple window nook or an ornate chapel, underscore a deep understanding of the human need for both community and quiet introspection, a balance carefully cultivated within the castle's protective embrace. They remind us that even amidst the robust necessities of defence, the medieval mind prioritized the cultivation of inner peace and personal sanctuary. And as we reflect upon these myriad comforts, the dance of light, the fresh air, the quietude, the spaces for solitude, we are continually drawn back to the most fundamental, overarching comfort the medieval castle provided, an unparalleled sense of security. It is perhaps the most obvious, yet most profoundly relaxing aspect of castle life. The formidable walls, the towering gatehouses, the strategic battlements, and the vigilant guards were not merely symbols of power. They were tangible assurances of safety in a world often fraught with uncertainty. Imagine the peace of mind that came from knowing that beyond those thick stone walls, your family, your possessions, and your very way of life were protected from marauders, rival lords, or external threats. This constant, reassuring presence of security allowed the inhabitants to truly relax within their domestic sphere. It permitted the quiet hum of daily life to flourish, knowing that the outer defences stood as an impenetrable shield. The children could play in the courtyards, the artisans could ply their trades, and the household could go about its routines, all enveloped in a cocoon of safety. This deep-seated feeling of protection freed the mind from the constant vigilance that might have been necessary in less secure environments. It allowed for deeper sleep, more focused work, and more joyful leisure. The castle, in its very essence, was a promise of permanence and protection, fostering a profound sense of belonging and well-being that allowed its inhabitants to truly thrive in an environment of cultivated peace. We have traversed the winding paths of medieval castle life, not as chroniclers of conflict, but as gentle guides illuminating the surprising depths of comfort and tranquility. We have seen how these magnificent structures, often perceived solely as bastions of war, were in fact meticulously designed homes, vibrant communities, and sanctuaries of peace. From the thoughtful management of light and air to the deliberate creation of quiet spaces and the omnipresent reassurance of security, every facet of the castle's architecture and daily rhythm contributed to a holistic sense of well-being. It is a testament to human ingenuity, a quiet rebellion against the harshness of the age, transforming stone and timber into a living, breathing testament to comfort, ingenuity, and the enduring human desire for a peaceful existence. As we conclude this chapter, we invite you to carry this refreshed understanding with you, allowing the serene image of these ancient havens to continue to offer solace and a gentle current of historical relaxation.